Listen, not Casey trying to find a way out. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Casey thinking smart. Casey is gonna make a big fuss, guys, about this whole passionate thing just to be able to pull away from Gabby. He can't fool me. He can't fool me because I don't see why he's making an issue. I don't think there's any problem in her choosing Curtis as passionate. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not that much of a big deal. And the fact that he's trying to make it into something it's not just shows me that he's just literally trying to, you know how men are. They try to, like, when they want to go off and do something sketchy, they try to cause some issues at home or whatever, and then they bounce and do it. This is what Casey's doing. Him can't fool me. Casey, you can't fool me. I'm gonna tell her that. Can't fool me. But anyways, guys, before I get into the video, I'm just gonna ask you guys to give the video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. But yes, guys, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Now, I'm gonna start with this game because I honestly feel like Kaz got a bit picked on. I do. Don't get me wrong. I feel like some of the sashes he deserved. Like, I feel like they could have said, yeah, the salty one, even though Curtis was saying, you know, you got a bit salty when Ekin-Su stole me, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel like it was that salty. I feel like she was just like, oh, you know, Ekin-Su stole my man. It is what it is kind of thing. Yeah, anybody would react a little bit, but I don't feel like she reacted in a place to say salty because she bounced back and she left them alone. So I would have thought that he would have gone for Luca. Do you know what I'm saying? Because of what happened a few minutes earlier when Kaz gave Luca the sash. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Plus, the way that Luca responded, because she was like, you know, you're not communicating your emotions or whatever. I feel like Luca isn't really communicating. He's communicating to a certain level, but he obviously is looking for a specific thing, right? And he's not finding it. So, but he keeps going around and saying, you're fit, this person is fit. But then the girls are wondering, okay, if you think we're fit, then why are you not making that move to us? He's not communicating that, listen, this is not, you know, there's nobody in here for me. They only just found this out when Maya came and he said it's Maya. He's never said it to anybody else in the villa. So at the end of the day, he didn't communicate his feelings. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to hold it against him in a sense because I feel like, you know, if he doesn't feel like there's anybody in there for him and he wants to wait, I respect it. Because at the end of the day, he's not jumping into something that he doesn't necessarily want to be. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like Kaz, even the self-absorbed one, I feel like Marcel just used it as a cop out as well. I don't think that she deserved that because at the end of the day, like, yeah, the only thing I would say that is she kissed Ronnie, but Ronnie kissed her. Do you know what I'm saying? So he was the first one to do it. And I know they probably don't know this because they probably don't believe it. But at the same time, I just felt like they kind of like, once one person gave her the sash, everybody kept doing it. And I just didn't like that. Do you know what I'm saying? I felt like, give the girl a break for a minute. Do you know what I mean? But anyways, so the whole thing with Luca and Olivia, when Olivia gave him the friend zone sash, I can understand where Luca's coming from because he friend zoned her and not the other way around. But we hear her saying like there's an underlying thing for everything. So I'm just like, is there something they're not saying to us or whatever? But at the end of the day, I feel like low-key, if Luca was to turn around and say to Olivia, I like you, I want to give it a go, she would probably dump Marcel tomorrow. Don't get me wrong, I think her and Marcel, while they were sitting there, they look cute together. They do look cute together. But Olivia will always be Olivia, because you see how quick she went to bring news back to Gabby? You know what I'm saying? Gabby needs to, like, ease up as well. I feel like Gabby, and I said it last night. What was it, last night? I said it, yeah, I think it was last night. She has low self-esteem, I think. Don't get me wrong, I get it. Grace is stunning and Grace's body is forever bodying. But at the same time, sometimes you have to back yourself, man. You have to back yourself. For me, listen, I know I'm not the most beautiful girl in the world, but my clothes. No, but on a serious note, like, at the end of the day, you have to back yourself. You know what I'm saying? Back yourself. What you bring to the table. Somebody else might look good, like, to look at, but at the same time, you might bring something else that she doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? So you can't compare yourself, and I think that's what she's doing. Casey, for a minute there when he was telling Grace, you know what, things are going good with me and Gabby, da-da-da-da, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hear him out, because at least he's not downplaying it. But the way he's acting over such a little simple sash and this passionate thing, I'm just thinking, nah, me not buy that one day, sir. Me not buy that one day. Me not buy that one day at all. But anyways, let's skip and hop over to the whole situation with what's his name, Scott and Tina. So we hear Scott telling, I think was it Ronnie who was saying like he's here to find something and he didn't want to settle, right? And I can't help but think, obviously, if he'd stick with India, that's what he would have been doing, settling. You know what I'm saying? Because he even said that with Tina, there's less pressure, and he's glad she chose him. Which I get it, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's the what if, because they fancy each other. It's hard to go from friends into something else. Do you know what I'm saying? They could have done that on the outside. If it didn't work on the outside, it's not going to work on the inside. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't see it happening. So I'm glad that now he's able to kind of pursue that. What I do like about Scott, and this is what shows that Scott is grown, and Scott probably should not even be in that villa, because the questions that he's asking Tina, you could tell that's a mature man. That's a man asking questions. You know what I'm saying? And he's putting it out there, what I want. He's literally saying to her, what do you think about a family? Because obviously I'm looking for something in the near future. Now, I feel like Tina is probably nodding and saying, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Mainly probably because she just wants to just like move forward with the whole situation and try to win him over in a sense. Because with Scott is a bit, he kind of holds his cards close to his chest, and he's like, he moves a bit slow. I think he thinks about what he's doing before he does it, which I do like. So I think that she's saying all these things, but is she really ready to actually settle down and all that kind of stuff? She might be, but I don't know. But you could tell that all his questions was just so mature, and it's that real proper questions, not like the little stupid ones that you'll overhear Luca them and the younger ones saying and it makes no sense or whatever. You could just tell that he's really mature. Now he got the vanilla boring sash, and you know what? I ain't even mad at Luca for that, because like I said, Scott is boring. Scott is boring. I'm not gonna lie. And it's got nothing to do with his age, because you got people that is mature. I'm 37, mind you, yeah? And there's nothing vanilla about me. I'm not boring. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm not boring. Me? Boring? You must be mad. But Scott is boring. I could tell it. I could tell from early on. It's just how he is. And at the end of the day, he is who he is. So we're not gonna hate on him, but he was the one that deserved that sash. Now, the sash that Elma gave to Ekin-Su, I feel like somebody else could have gotten it. You know what I'm saying? I love Ekin-Su, but I feel like sometimes it's almost like, I don't know if it's because Ekin-Su won her series. Sometimes I feel like they kind of like look up or kind of almost worshipy, you know? And I don't really like that, but I love Ekin-Su. That's my girl. But the way that they act around her is almost like they put her on a pedestal sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna lie, banging body would go to, what's her name, Kaz, or what's her name to me? What's her name? Grace. I think they would have been banging body. I can't remember the name of the sash that Ekin-Su got, to be honest with you. But I will say, when Scott gave Kaz that fit as AF, or fit AF, for me, it would have either gone to Kaz or Grace. And I could tell that Tina was a little bit, you know what I mean? She was a little bit salty. We'll say salty, right? She was a little bit kind of like, you know, she was hoping that Scott had given it to her. And Scott, I don't know, I think Scott thought he was doing good or justice, or trying to kind of lighten the blow by saying, I won't give it to Tina. Tina would be more beautiful. I feel like he thought that he was doing something with that speech, but honey, you should have just left it alone. You know what I'm saying? You should have just left it alone, because a girl wants to know that she's beautiful, but she also wants to know that you find her to be sexy. Now, I don't know which a girl would prefer. I know a lot of girls would prefer you to call them sexy or think that they're sexy over them being beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So I think he thought that he was like trying to fix that situation, but I felt like that little speech just kind of, just that line just kind of made things a little bit more, do you know what I mean? I don't know. But anyways, guys, at the beginning of the episode, we see where Luca was crying, got a bit tearful. I think I like Luca a little bit more in this series than I did originally, I must say. I feel like when he first came in, I kind of thought it's gonna be the same Luca, and maybe he's a little bit like the old Luca, but I feel like I respect that he's taking his time and he's doing what he actually wants to do, and he's not trying to force any connections. I'm respecting that. And I do feel like he's a bit different compared to the first series. And I feel like I do like him a bit more. But yeah, but let's see how it goes. I do feel like I like him a bit more. And I did feel a bit like sorry for him when he got very emotional. But I'm trying to work out why he got emotional. Because he said that he got emotional mainly because, you know, he doesn't know why he's there. And I can understand, because it's easy to say, well, try to get to know the girls. But if he doesn't feel like he has a connection with them, then I don't think it makes any sense for him to try and get to know them. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I think it's more the frustration of the only girl that he was actually attracted to was Tina. And then Tina chose Scott. And I feel like even though he might not wanted to like show those emotions, I feel like it was just that like I've been waiting for somebody. Find somebody finally comes in and then boom. Do you know what I mean? But how do you think Kaz feels? Do you know what I'm saying? How do you think? Because Kaz got thirsty, and I'm not gonna lie, Kaz was thirsty. We all know that Kaz was thirsty, but I just felt like, geez, I felt bad for Kaz today. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna feel bad for Kaz. Ronnie, or Ron, I should say, Ron and Elma. I think Ron pulling Elma for the chat, but then when he mentioned to her about, he felt like she was overreacting about the whole kiss thing with Kaz and Ronnie. I was thinking to myself, she's going to take that bad. But when she laughed it off, I was like, okay, it's cool. But now that he actually gave her the sash and actually brought it up and said that he felt like she was being extra, you could tell that that went down a very sour road because she was not happy about it. Now, I don't feel like I feel like it was blown out of proportion for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I get why she was doing it because I feel like they wronged her by doing the kiss immediately after. But I did feel like it was a bit extra. I did feel like there was some extra moments where it didn't have to be. And I felt like the other girls as well, that they backed the situation and everybody did turn down on Kaz. Kind of like how the whole situation with India, I felt like sometimes the girls just are quick to back the other girls without actually using common sense or even logic in these situations. You know what I'm saying? Because look at how they all wanted to, even Elma, she wanted to come at Scott saying, you know why she said that you were the one that's more calculated. Why? Because you kissed her last night, now you want to get to know somebody? No, not calculated. At the end of the day, they're not in a relationship. So I feel like sometimes these girls, they're quick to back the other girls without any like logic or common sense. And I feel like it's like no one's leading, if that makes any sense. Everybody's just following the situation. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's what it is. I don't know about the whole situation with Ron and Kaz. I know that Ron thinks that Kaz is sexy. I don't know if Kaz fully likes Ron yet. I don't know if she's attracted to him. She did say she wants to flirt, but then that is different because we like to flirt in general, and I will flirt with anybody, to be honest with you. I will flirt. So I don't know if she's just gonna enjoy the flirt or she actually likes him to actually want to be open to him pursuing her, or vice versa. I'm not quite sure yet. Grace, I just feel like Grace is more, you know, she's probably going to go for Casey. And Casey's trying to make herself available. I'm actually watching Grace as well because I low-key thought that maybe Grace would go for the Coco because she in love with the Coco. So I thought she would go for Marcel. But even Scott knew this. Even Scott said it. Was it Scott? I think it was Scott that said, you know, Alika. I don't remember which one said that. Maybe Marcel. And I think that's because they know, because Grace likes a bit of chocolate. You know what I'm saying? So let's see how it goes. Marcel's saying that he's glad that Grace has come in and, you know, at least Luca will get a chance. I feel like maybe Marcel is probably closing himself off a little bit too soon. But then again, I feel like there's no one that's showing much interest in Marcel right now, apart from Olivia. But again, I don't feel like Olivia is 100%. Even when they were talking, it was just kind of like there was no excitement. Even though they look nice together, like just looking at them, they look nice together. But I'm just not buying that whole situation at all. I feel like she's just with Marcel at the moment because it's easier. And Marcel, you know, she wants Luca basically, but it's just easier. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I think about that. But anyways, let's talk about Catherine and Naz for a second. Naz obviously is a slow burner. Yes, I'm not going to say that he's not a slow burner, but I don't think that Naz is feeling the whole thing with Catherine. I feel like he's going at this pace because he doesn't want to give her too much energy for her to think, okay, we're going to be more. But he's not actually walking away from the situation or just leaving the situation alone. I don't think that Naz is interested in Catherine. I'm starting to think that Catherine might be liking Naz because when Ron came in, she was more kind of like hoping that Naz will feel a little bit jealous or have a little bit of a kick up his, is derriere by seeing her talking to somebody else. She was more kind of like focused on that or hoping that would happen than Ron and her getting involved. So for me, that shows that she might actually do like Naz. But Naz is not giving because I think Naz is not interested. And obviously we see in tomorrow night's show where she's saying that she's just really tired because she wants Naz to show her something. She wants him to make more of an effort. And I think how tomorrow is going to go, I feel like she might express that to him. And I think that he's probably going to, in the end, pull the plug and say like he doesn't feel like this is working. I feel like this is my prediction for that. You know what I'm saying? This is how I feel like it's going to go. But we'll just have to wait and see. I feel like yes, he's a slow burner, but there's been a slow burner and there is not being interested. And I don't think Naz is interested because I felt like Naz was giving Tina a lot more on that date and even after that date than he's probably been giving Catherine. That's just my observation. But anyways, guys, if you got so far in the video and you haven't yet thumbs up the video, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. But anyways, guys, I think this is the longest video I ever did so far. But anyways, guys, I'll see you on tomorrow's video. But for now, keep it sassy, licious.